Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright, babe. Hey, I have to put positive vibes out there right now because I'm feeling a little sick, and I shouldn't be feeling sick. I should be feeling well. In order for me to feel well, I'm going to record a podcast to enlighten myself and bring myself to a better state of mind, feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit relieved. I feel like I haven't talked in a while, so here we are with the bi-weekly podcast. You guys are in 2022, I'm in 2021 recording, and this journey is a beautiful one, guys, and let me tell you why. It's because the way you want to see it is going to be pretty much up to you. Now, this is my journey, and you can use this as something to learn or something to guide yourself from, or simply to just entertain yourself. It's going to be up to you how you take it in, how you consume the energy that I provide. And I want to provide nothing but good vibes, nothing but good energy out there, guys. I want to motivate the world. I want to motivate myself every day, my family, my friends and loved ones, you know, my future family, like the people I want to like create a family with, like, you know, get together eventually and build with. Like, all that stuff just ties into what has happened in the last couple years, last couple days, last couple minutes leading up to the second that I want to just record. All right, catching up with what happened in the last 2 weeks. So I had to give you guys an update on DoorDash, on my debt, on the t-shirt release, if I've gotten any orders, give DoorDash sponsorship idea. I gave you guys that idea. Talk money and why it's meaningless in a way. Paradise in heaven. Like, next 2 weeks, go to work on DoorDash as much as possible. Aiden's birthday. So, the connection with the moon, really. And the day after the new moon is also known as Ramadan. So, ironically, today is the third day that we have a full moon. The moon's been on blast. The energy of Cancer is driven by the moon. And I don't want to get too much deep into the astrology and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a creation of God. And we're here because of it. And we have to find the purpose on why. We're just in the moment. We got to live in the moment and enjoy the moment and make the best of what we're feeling within the moment. Because if you limit yourself, then that's you creating that reality for yourself. You're creating yourself a cage, because nobody else is creating that cage for you but yourself. Aiden's birthday was a great birthday. He partied a lot, had a lot of sugar. And that weekend, we actually had to take him to the doctors. He had to get his routine checkup, and he was also feeling sick. I was feeling sick. That was the last time we felt sick, ironically. And he had like these bumps in within his mouth and lips, right? The doctor said that the bumps in his lips might have been from excessive sugar. They were like, did he have a lot of sugar? We were like, actually, yeah. They were like, yeah, that might have been it. And I was at peace with that. I was like, makes sense, right? And then, what else? You know, his regular routine, like all the weight and size and development seemed pretty well. So then I started looking more into like, what do I need to do as a parent to provide a better health environment for my child? And I've been like very driven by the energy of the Bible. So I read often, and when I have a question, I use Google and the Bible. So like I try to in a way understand what people got from that scripture, and when I read it, how do I understand it, and then try to read it in different like forms. and how it makes sense to me and how I apply it to like my way of living. And at the end of the day, my purpose is to try to apply it in a positive way to make me a better person, right? And I think that's the goal that we need to have every time we seek for growth, to stay optimistic. I'm very optimistic, sometimes pessimistic, and the pessimistic comes because I feel like the energy is driven by something greater. But that only means that if there's a negative energy that's greater, it is because they're holding on to, their reality or whatever it is that is true, and because they're more anchored onto that belief, it weakens your energy, because you're still, I guess, building muscle, or you're still trying to like pretty much understand how to balance out the good and the bad, right? Because without good, there's no bad, and without bad, there's no good. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to create a better environment for Aiden, and just being happy and getting him excited allowed him to get out the sickness quicker, right? Whatever he felt, and whatever I was feeling, he was feeling. So if I felt good, he was gonna feel it. He was gonna feed off that energy. I also learned this like long before with the music, that in order for me to create better music, I need to feed off of good energy. Or if I want to create good music, then I have to create good music or create good energies in order for me to create good music. Optimism. All right. The DoorDash and the finances haven't been a stress anymore, because I done found a balance on time. I found a balance on finances, what I need and what I want. And I found a balance on how much I need to make to be comfortable with the life, the life that I want to have. And I used to think that I had to do DoorDash pretty much as soon as I'm off work, as many hours as I need to. But I actually only need to do DoorDash and make $200 every week to pretty much live comfortably, aside from going to my regular job. And my regular job, it's a steady check, so it's like not that much of a difference every pay period. It's a couple dollars, a few dollars. So now I'm able to find that balance. I've actually included the tithing, so I encourage people to do that, like give back somehow, some way, find a way in your heart to like fill that energy into the world, and be selfless, because at the end of the day, whatever you leave with is just the peace of mind, So just attempt to do good in whatever way you can. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but put some time aside to do good for others, not just yourself. Not just focus on your life, but others as well. And prosperity will happen through that. I'm speaking based on experience and my belief, so take it lightly, take it heavy, take it just with a grain of salt. Don't really listen to every single detail as if it were you. Listen and think for yourself. That's all I want you to do. Because I'm saying all this to encourage you to, yes, work your ass off and fulfill that goal, and make sure you're good, but don't overwork yourself. Like, don't stress about it. Don't cry. Like, think about it. The more anxiety you put on yourself, the more stress you put on yourself, the more weight you put on yourself, the harder it's going to be to lift, to walk, to carry. If you think about it, I'm not sick. I'm sick because I want to be sick. I'm sick because I'm saying I'm sick. If I'm saying I'm not sick, I'm not sick. There's nothing wrong with my throat. I'm just talking like this, and literally, there's nothing wrong with my throat. I just act like it hurts or act like there's something wrong, but everything's okay. Then I think I'll be okay, or I'm fine. I just need, like, a refreshment of some kind, and then I'll be fine, and I'll be good, right? I mean, maybe. It all depends if that's really how I feel. A couple facts regarding the moon and the world and whatnot. The Earth's axis shifted about 13 degrees, and that actually caused the ocean to freeze up again. Everybody was worried about global warming, and out of nowhere, the Earth shifts a little bit. It causes the ocean to freeze a little bit. We're like almost in summertime, and it's still feeling great outside. So that's Mother Nature speaking. That's God speaking at the end of the day. God created day and night, and He created the universe, and He created us. So there's no denying that in my heart. But teach His own. Now that a lot of things are revealing themselves, a lot of things that are happening are tying in with the Bible. Ironically, people don't want to believe in it, but I mean, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory and whatnot, theory, like, there's no proof. So you're saying there's no proof of God, but in all the theories, there's no proof. At the end of the day, it's a theory, right? It's always contradicting with the good and the bad for some way, somehow. It all depends how you look at it. Now, this is just me speaking freely. I have a podcast where I listen and talk to other people, and you can catch that on Time With if you would like to engage and pick out my brain and just openly talk about these kind of conversations. I suggest you go to stickman.com/contact us, visit Time With, and at the end of the day, I want to provide positive energy to the world. So if you're with negative energy, I'll consume it, but I don't think I will go ahead and release it. We can have the conversation, whatever you need to do, but if I feel like it's not a overall good message through what I feel within my productions, then I don't want to be part of it. Just like if your business is quote unquote wicked to me, like if I feel that you're hiding something and you're not being transparent with your consumers, and you're trying to screw some people over, I don't know who, but if you're trying to screw one or two people over, how do I not know you're not trying to screw me over, So trust has to be built. Definitely, I've learned that the hard way. You gotta love yourself more than anything. So if you love yourself and you understand that something just isn't for you, don't fight it. Just follow your gut and be like, wow, I can't be hurt about this. This opportunity is not for me, in a way, right? And that's when you understand that you have to be okay and at peace with your reality of it. Because another person maybe interact with your energy, and you may think something of it, they may think something of it differently than you do. And when you collide and meet at a certain point, and you understand that it's not the same kind of purpose, then that's when you part ways. But that's the only way people can understand each other, really, like having to get to those kind of moments. or else there's no progress, there's no growth, there's no kind of change. Yeah, guys, the thing about the whole music stuff is to motivate people. Like, I'm on some Tupac shit, you know. He was on Thug Life stuff, but my creativity is like just open. It's like Sick Side was one of the first singles that you might hear that is like crazy. You're like, what the heck? Like, this dude is a child of God or whatnot, he claims, and this is the kind of content he has. Well, like I said, without good, there's no bad, and without bad, there's no good. I'm not trying to justify my bad, but what I'm saying is this is creativity that has happened before in moments where I was feeling quote-unquote sick, ironically. So the sick side of the music is the sickness, right? Those thoughts that I have released, and I feel like I can push a greater purpose with it, you know, rather than just keeping it to myself and not creating that side of content for people who are actually interested in that side of the industry already. I mean, you can't help people from a distance. Like, you have to engage. Like, if you want to help somebody, you have to put your hands on them in a certain way. Like, not saying physically, but you have to help them. You have to put your footwork in there. You can't just always pray for a person. Like, you really have to do something that you can do with your abilities. You have to make that move, or else I don't think you'll find any change. You really won't find any change unless, like I said, you make the move. How are you gonna understand something or somebody if you don't have communication with it? This is me communicating with the world, how I feel, how I think, when I'm sick, when I'm healthy. My energies, they're just going out there, but I want to do a positive outcome for it. Still working on growing. That's the thing too. So I'm not always going to be perfect. I'm not always going to be pushing the image of I am God in a way. Like, if I say I'm a child of God and you see me doing nothing but godly things, and then you catch me slipping one day, you're going to be like, well, he's a liar. Well, no, like, I'm accepting the consequences to all the bad things and all the bad that is out there because of me. You know, like, I have to embrace my demons in a way, like, in a way I create them. So the better I handle creating them, the less I'll be able to create. And it's ironic. That's how we all have to think, that we have to grow. We create a lot of demons when we think bad and when we say, forget this person in another form, right? Like, when you start thinking that way of other people, it kind of consumes yourself, your energy, because you're putting too much attention to something that should not bother you, if that makes any sense. And once you do that, you're like, okay, are they worth the energy? If they're worth it, then continue to go, continue to push, continue to strive, because you'll probably even feel sick. You'll feel low. You'll feel there with them in a way. Now, will you fight with them? For sure. I mean, if they're worth it, you love them, go ahead and fight with them, because I'm sure they'll fight for you once they understand that the love is genuine, you know? That's that. If you ever feel drained, don't think like, oh, I'm being punished or whatever. Like, it's more that you're kind of punishing yourself, because you're telling yourself you can't handle with whatever you're having, with whatever you're putting yourself on or into. Like, you literally put yourself in circumstances. When you think about it, you might not think about it when you do it, but until after you think about it and reflect, that's when you realize you kind of did it to yourself. Nobody else did that to you but yourself. It's very, very contradicting, and we can have a lot of people mad about it. But if you're mad about something because of your reality, understand that there's people that are not mad about the same thing because they simply had a better state of mind, an optimistic mind, a positive way of thinking, or they just wanted to be like, you know what, I'm not going to think that way. I want to think in a better form. That's all they told themselves. They believed in themselves that they were not in a horrible place, or that it was all temporary, or that it was there for a reason and for a greater purpose. That's why they are not stuck in that cycle anymore. If you're having situations with a loved one and you see yourself stuck in a cycle, it's because you're allowing that. It's because you're allowing them to be comfortable with that habit. And you got to break that habit. You got to break that cycle. You got to let them know, look, this is the cycle and this is what I want to do to break it. And they're either with it or not. That's the simple part about it. Once you understand and love yourself, like, hey, I'm going to let this person know because it's either going to make or break the moment. And that's the thing. You got to live in the moment. It's either going to make or break the moment. So make moments, create moments, make the moments count, and make the moments beautiful, because you're the one in control of your moment. If somebody turns you down, in a way, right, in any form, make that moment beautiful and be like, there's better days for sure. Like, somebody out there is gonna appreciate this love, per se, right? Somebody's gonna appreciate my love that I have towards them, my friendship, my attention. Somebody will, for sure. Somebody's gonna definitely notice that genuine care. Now, who is it? I don't know. But you can kind of create that within yourself too. Like, if you keep telling yourself that that person is ugly, to you, that person is always going to be ugly. But if you're like, no, that person is beautiful, that person is beautiful, you're going to find a lot of more people beautiful, just because you understand the beauty of life, that everybody is unique, everybody is their own. You can't love somebody else unless you love yourself. Once you love yourself, you can love everyone else. You got to put yourself first, because God lives within you. So you love yourself, you understand that there's nothing else in the world that can really affect the love. Because if somebody will come up to you and say, you ugly as hell, but you feel beautiful, you're just gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, dude, what the heck? This person must not really love themselves for them to think that I'm ugly. Like, what makes this person think I'm ugly? Like, what gives that person the audacity to say I'm ugly? Like, your attitude is ugly, first of all. So therefore, I feel like you're uglier than I am. Because my attitude was on point. It's on point. It's on 10. It's on good. Like, I'm loving myself. You got a negative energy. It's like, do you really think I'm ugly? And then you start to wonder, why do people think that way? Why do people feel that way? At the end of the day, when somebody has a positive mind and outlook of life, they're beautiful already. Now, if you have a negative outlook of life, you ugly, bro. What you doing? You're hurting yourself, because you're not embracing yourself. You're not embracing the beauty of you. Alright, now 6 side, that's the thing. That's the ugly side. Will you is the beautiful side. It's like, that's the side where it's like, when I die, will you really celebrate for me? What would you do? Like, you gonna be sad? I don't want you to be sad. I want you to be glad. Like, I want you to be like, dang, this dude, like, was living the life, and now he's like at peace, because everything that he did is done. The moments have happened already. Like, those are the moments that he left us with, and that's it. Boom. Thank you. That's it. Like, that's all you can say. When you embrace that and you embrace that love, you're like, okay, what are you gonna do with all that? With that inspiration that person has left behind for you, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna push a positive purpose out of it, or a negative purpose? What is the thing that really will motivate you and be like, this is what I'm gonna do? There's moments in the podcast that you listen to, you're gonna hear where people are like, there was a moment where something made or broke me. And everybody's gonna be different. Everybody's gonna have a different moment, a different story, a different reality check. When you cash that check and you realize that check has too many zeros, you're gonna be like, dang, let me write a check for somebody else. In order for that person to cash the check, though, they gotta wake up. And that is why I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic with the music, because it's like, I've created music a lo loco, a lo pendejo, at the crazy, like, in a way, as an idiot, right? Now I want to create music with a purpose. There's going to be probably music that I release, and it's going to be old music. That's bad, you know, like the Feeling Creative song. I'm feeling creative. I feel egoistic. I'm feeling impatient. I gotta go get it. That song is pretty deep. And if you listen to Rico Pobre, if it ever, I don't even know if I have it or if it's out there, where I do the Spanish and English storyline pretty much of my connection, or the man in the mirror with my dad. Like, that, all that falls into Stickman. Who is that kid in a way? Who's that guy? Who's the one behind the creative, you know? And Stickman eventually will die. I mean, everybody will die, but Stickman is a character pretty much. Stickman is just somebody that's here to, like, create a new hip-hop wave, in a way you would say. Like, have a team where we're creating literally artists, you know, like characters, I would say. And we're the artists. We're the artists at the end of the day. And we're creating the characters. Daft Punk is a character. Marshmello is a character. The artists behind that are revealed, or maybe not revealed. Think about all these movies. All these actors, they're characters, right? They're characters to the movie. They're inside of character when they're playing the role. Now, outside of the movie, there's somebody else, or at least they should be. When you learn to separate reality from creativity, then that's when you're like, okay, there's a balance. There's a balance to everything. There's a balance with food, there's a balance with money, there's a balance with time, there's a balance with consumption, there's a balance with it all. That's where I'm at right now, finding that balance. I'm finding the balance, and all I've done was pretty much pray for it to happen within its own time. Like, no rush, just whenever I'm ready for it, for me to just see it. And that's what's happening. Every day I learn, every day I grow, every day I see something new. Every day my eyes are open to a new reality, per se, right? And every day I feel like I don't stop growing. There's been moments in my life where I felt like I've paused and I've stopped growing. And that's because I've limited myself to a certain reality and told myself, no, that's not how it is. You can't think that way. You know? That's the thing. It's good to doubt, as the Bible says. Think your way, but also learn the truth. Seek the truth. Find the truth. The truth will lie within you. when you're unstable, you don't have the truth within you. Stabilize your mind, stabilize yourself, your spirit, and your life. And I think that's pretty much all I have as far as that goes. Now that I've established the way of working and finding balance, I feel like there's no telling when I'll pay off my debt. But I as of now, I've acquired some for the LLC, which I shouldn't have done, but I wanted to. You know, that was my peace. If I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't have been at peace. I would have been more unstable if I wouldn't have done it, because I would have been thinking, what if? So I've done it. I've learned my lesson, and now I understand that everything kind of takes patience. So I'm gonna pay off the debt, save money, and then when I'm at the step where I can start investing, I'll start investing, and that investment will definitely go into this dream, this idea, until it can self-sustain itself. I definitely want to create more characters. I would say eventually I want to write books, and eventually I do want to write a movie, script a movie. I want to script some comedy for a good purpose. I would say, like, a movie idea I have is so crazy that it's realistic fiction, but it's also like science fiction. And the thought of connecting with whatever, it all depends how deep you make the connection. So I don't know, this movie idea is crazy, but I don't want to make it too contradicting, right? Because it can get deep, and it's so deep because it's ironic that it's as deep as the sea. Like, I'll just give you a little insight of how powerful the thought of love is. Let's say your dream person, you have a certain story you want to create, right? Well, think about this story that's created in this movie where the old couple is ready to go. They're ready to rest in peace and ready to be liberated. And they tie themselves or chain themselves up together, and then they sink to the middle of the ocean, like the bottom of the ocean, together. How God brought them in this world with no clothes, nothing but themselves, ready to just do it. And that's kind of like the temptation, you know, from the forbidden fruit. It's like the man always tempts the woman, but what is the woman gonna bite off of? It's so weird, it's so strange, it's so wicked also, that a man has the power to manipulate a woman's mind, if you think about it. But why would you put something bad in a woman? Like, why would you put a bad purpose in a woman? Because if you put a good purpose, then you will benefit way more out of it all. I've learned that all the women in my life don't have to be thought of as, what if she is something to create a better connection with, or flirt, you know, should I flirt with that person or should I not? And honestly, I've learned that what you have to do is love yourself, love that next person as a person, and understand that you're there in the moment to help them grow spiritually and connect with God better. But it's up to you whether you want to do that or you want to let your temptations take over. We're always going to see beautiful people out there, you know? And the more beauty you see in life, the more beauty you will see in people. So, yes, there's wicked thoughts all the time for whatever reason, you know? And we have to control and balance those enemies, because those enemies are the ones that will take over if you let them. If you let them in, they will control you. That's the only way they will control you. So you have self-control, you have self-love and self-embodiment of you. Nobody else can mess with you. Nobody else can fuck with you. Nobody else can manipulate your health. So when you want to push a better purpose on people, you will fulfill a bunch of more fruits within life versus limiting somebody else for your benefit. Let that sink in, guys. Let that sink in deep and think about it and just be like, what is this dude talking about? Can you stop listening and then look for the answers within yourself, or read and understand who you are? That's what we need to really do. We're so stuck on social media that we don't even have time for ourselves anymore. That's so sad. You know you don't have time for that child, but more importantly, you don't have time for yourself, and it's sad. Guys, that's all I have for tonight. That's all I feel like I can provide as of now. I am good. You know, I'm happy that I let all that out, and hopefully tomorrow this throat pain and soreness is gone, and hopefully I get some well rest, and hopefully everything is good. You know, like not even hopefully, everything is good. Everything is all right. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up fine. Today is a good day. It was a great and amazing day. It's a good moment, and we're here, and God is everlasting. So let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Fulfill our dreams, our purpose, our energy is alive. Let's do it.